very happy new year to you all. This is gonna get quite tricky for the rest of the season, I think. But there we go. Norwich have drawn here to kick off 2020 with a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. A game where I was quite convinced Norwich would win today, just I think through law of averages. I don't think I was alone, listening to a lot of people before kick-off. This was the goal in front of the Barclay where Todd Cantwell became Norwich's first goal scorer of the decade, with a goal we all thought was offside, so no one really celebrated it properly. It was really weird how muted the celebrations and noise was. Horrible. And we've had a lot of talk about the effect VAR has. That, I think, was the first palpable ruining of a celebration of a goal we've had here, thanks to VAR and the offside check. I mean, we all kind of thought it was offside, but a replay showed it was clearly on, and away we go. And the linesman did keep his flag down for that one. And then extremely late on in the second half, Connor Wickham, who'd come on as a substitute, managed to poke home. The referee put his flag up. Everyone assumed it was going to be off, and the back of Christoph Zimmermann's foot, by the law of the lines, was playing him on. As IFAB have since confirmed, actually clear and obvious should now apply to offside decisions, which I think is very different to what the Premier League was saying at the start of the season, hence why they were drawing lines. So we all expected, with the flag going up, that it would be the equaliser would be disallowed, but they got a couple of lines out. It did look quite quickly like the foot was going to be playing Wickham onside, Zimmermann the offender. You're then still in the discussion about the checks and when the ball was kicked and margin of errors. They all still apply, but I don't think Norwich can really complain too much about VAR tonight. And well, I'll only take one look at the Premier League table to see just how cut adrift Norwich are now. A really difficult situation, and it's going to be a very long rest of the season unless Norwich can pick up some wins immediately, probably a string of them. They do have Bournemouth down here at Carrow Road next, after going to Preston in the FA Cup, and then Manchester United in the Premier League. You know, that's what we're looking at. They're still not playing particularly badly. They played quite well again today. They have done for weeks, but I just think there's no conviction in the fact that Norwich have got the quality to get themselves over the line, which I guess is a confidence issue, and that's the rut of Norwich's horrendous run. They haven't won here since September. They haven't kept a clean sheet here all season. They were the two things that were going through my mind with about 20 minutes to go, and if they're going through my mind, they were probably going through everyone else's as well. And fair play to Daniel Farke. He rotated, actually, from these three games. He's chopped and changed the side to keep it fresh, and you wouldn't say the performances have particularly suffered, or they've actually helped because of it. But you know, they come up against a Palace side where Roy Hodgson's had no opportunity to change his side. Koyate came on to play at centre-back after Saka went off injured at half-time. They had quite a few youngsters on the bench, and I think 8 injuries to players who probably would have been involved to some degree or another. So that's kind of the level of injury crisis Norwich had earlier in the season, albeit maybe not concentrated in specific positions, which is kind of the issue that Norwich have had in the past, but certainly not now. We got to see Adam Ida's debut late on. Timo Pukki went off with a hamstring worry, I think is the way to describe it. Obviously been playing with his toe injury, so that's not great. If I can't see, it got mentioned to me that it's still not decided whether Timo will play at Preston in the FA Cup, but I mean, I'd be amazed if he is anywhere near that game, because the bloke needs a rest. He's too important for everything else. Never mind a FA Cup third round tie at Preston, but you know, that's my opinion, and others will probably have very different opinions. So yeah, Adam Ida got his Premier League debut, which was great to see. I know he's hugely in demand to be loaned out during the course of January, so Norwich have probably got to work out whether that happens or not, whether they want to keep him about it. He showed some good energy, actually, was lively. Didn't get a free kick, but that he wanted. But you know, it'd be interesting to see what he could do coming on for a little bit longer, because you know, there was a period there where we had Marco Stiepermann up front on his own, and that, well, seemed a bit bizarre to end up in that situation, as good as Marco is. I think probably because Norwich were hoping to tighten up and then obviously Palace equalised, and all of a sudden you've got an issue with trying to break forward and maybe get another goal yourself. So it's just the way everything's going in those sort of forms for Norwich at the moment. Emi Buendia, again, a class above. It's so important with the form he's showing. I mean, I dread to think, well, hopefully no one bothers Norwich in January. I think it would take a huge amount of money to really prize him out. I think next summer Norwich go down. I think it'd be impossible to keep hold of him if you keep playing the way he's playing, because he's probably one of the best attacking midfielders outside the top 6, I would argue, at the moment, and he's showing it. And it's just all a bit flat, much like Todd Cantwell's goal. I mean, Todd was excellent for a lot of today. So fair play to him, because he's come on leaps and bounds in this season and just shown so much of what he's about, and he speaks very well as well. It's really a pleasure to chat to him afterwards. The other thing I'd probably add from Daniel Farke, he still doesn't think there's going to be much business done in January, but there will be some. I think it's worth pointing out from listening to him, Daniel Farke isn't particularly fussed whether he stays or not. So it's just a question then if Norwich can get someone else in, I would imagine, that fills that gap, because what you don't want is to send him back and then not have anyone else come in, and then you lose Emi or someone else for a few weeks, and all of a sudden you're really short, and Emi could have played a part, Patrick could have played a part. But it was also interesting that, Farke mentioned that there are players who aren't getting game time and they may not be happy with that. And immediately I'm thinking, well, we've not seen Moritz Leitner for a while, and I don't think he's probably best pleased about that. So we'll have to see how the next few weeks pan out. Take care of yourselves. If you're watching, then give it a like and a subscribe and all those sort of things you can do on social media. Post a comment, I always read them. And I'll be at Preston on Saturday, so we'll see you up there and then for something else. And obviously, if you want to read my stuff over at The Athletic, then there's links and codes to be found, especially in the YouTube notes, and follow me on Twitter and you'll see all those links there. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your New Year's celebrations, if there are any, and I'll see you with a more of a return to normality up at Deepdale on Saturday.